Right, bonjour, kia ora everyone. Welcome to Rolling Round Europe in Rolly, week 25. Wow.
Coming into our last week.
Scary.
Scary.
The week, it started off in Champagne country.
Of course, we had to partake in some
Of course, you have to
champagne.
take the local product, don't you?
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful country.
Lovely way to start the week, but then we moved up into the World War I battlefields, which was quite sobering, really, wasn't it?
Yep.
After the Champagne.
We saw tunnels built. We married up the Arras Tunnel in Wellington with the Wellington Tunnel in Arras.
They tell a really good story, don't they,
do.
of the New Zealand participation in the war in La Quesnoy and Arras, the Battle of Arras. Fascinating stories, but when you see some of the battlefields, the grave cemeteries, it's pretty sobering, I guess.
Yeah.
But good to sort of commemorate.
We paid our respects.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy what we're doing. If you haven't already subscribed, it's probably a bit late because we're coming to the end of this phase, but we'll have a few more videos coming up over the next few weeks as we finish off and sort of reflect on our thoughts of the trip. So enjoy the video. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
So we are currently in A, and this place has
Go over the roundabout, taking the second exit.
35 champagne houses. 35.
Moe and
Bollinger.
Bollinger.
Yes, including Moe and Bollinger. So, not very pretty. I think we're a street out. Go
Bear
straight
right,
to the right.
then take the second exit
the main
onto
road.
Boulevard of Charles de Gaulle.
This is the Ram Cathedral. He's a beauty. Remember coming here 30 years ago. It's definitely one of the best. It's called Notre Dame, not to be confused with the French Notre Dame. She's looking pretty beautiful actually, very intact. Just accidentally found this little garden in the middle of a square. A mini jungle in the middle of Ram. I'm sure the kids are not meant to play on that, but it's pretty cool. Looks like it's brand new, doesn't it? Let's go and have a close look at those seats and things. Oh, going in through the outdoor. Rebels. And the flowers, very tropical. Cool seats. tropical flowers.
Oh, look at that. You smell that.
Pretty cool seats. Very unusual find to find in the middle of the city. This is the Reims Hotel de Ville, or City Hall. Very elegant. Obviously just had a bit of a spring clean, very clean, and with a tower up there, the detail of that. Nicer without that bit of scaffold, but obviously a new roof and looking very... Right, here we are at the Mum Champagne House in Reims. We're just sort of reminiscing, aren't we, really,
We were.
of when we were here 30 years ago, and trying to remember what it looked like, and our memories aren't that good, are they, really?
No, we remember it as being in the middle of the country with all this greenery around.
Because underneath is 25 kilometres of chalk caves, but if you look around here, this is all built up old buildings. And nothing's new, so it can't have changed that much in 30 years. But yeah, interesting to revisit it and sort of spark the old memories and see what we can't remember. It's interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, we can't visit the caves today because we haven't planned ahead.
It's fully booked.
Fully booked today, but oh, we'll live off the memories, and the old photos will it'll be enough. Just here in Chateau de Courcy, I think is the way you'd say it. It's up on top of a hill. Just walking along top of the ramparts here. The town of Courcy was pretty much destroyed in World War I. Bits of it have been left, but you'll see pockmarks, gun holes all over the place. So it's amazing 100 years later to still see the marks of war on buildings. I have to go and have a look inside the chapel there, or the church. It seems to have survived. Oh, nice garden down there. Somewhere down there, should be able to see Rolly. It's parked over that way somewhere. So yeah, confirming this was nearly totally destroyed in World War I and was rebuilt afterwards. It's pretty cool to still see it, I suppose. A bit more of the walls. You can see in many places the repair work. You can see the original and then the replaced bricks at the top. So yeah, 1917, as the Germans retreated, they blew the place to smithereens apparently, so a lot of it was destroyed, but it's good to see at least some of it being reassembled. Here we've got vines on the south facing wall. These are actually quite recent, 1996, just as a memory to the past where they used to make wine at the chateau. Bit of a rainy old day today, but it's good to get out, and a rainy day here is still better than a day of work. No worries. And just along here we have the New Zealand Memorial. Right at the bottom here it says, "From the uttermost ends of the earth, de l'autre Extremité du Monde. And there goes the New Zealand Memorial. You'll see crosses at the bottom, left hand side, to symbolise the deaths of many soldiers. You'll see the ladder climbing up over the rampart and soldiers going up, and obviously I think that's an angel, is it? In honour of the men of New Zealand through whose valour the town of Le Quesnoy was restored to France, 4th of November 1918. This is approximately where they went over the wall. They talk about the sluice gate there in the story, don't they?
Yeah.
There's a tunnel through there, you can get through to the other side. Don't know much more than that. This is the New Zealand Peace Garden, designed by Xanthi White. Some of you may know from her Chelsea flower garden design. You'll see a lot of red in the design, symbolising the poppy. You'll see a few poppies in the middle there. This is a bit of a view of some of the ramparts that New Zealanders would have been facing and trying to work out where to attack it. Pretty imposing walls, and obviously the ladder would only make it in a few spots. That's certainly not one of them there. That's very high. Where they did attack was further over that way, where it was a little bit more of the ramparts, showing how tall they are and surrounded by a moat, which would have made it pretty difficult to attack, or limited where they could attack, I suppose. This is one of the main gates through into the town. And you come across here. This street is called Rue Nouvelle-Zélande. Rue Tiro is the new sign, so it's interesting that's gone up. Terre du Long Nuage Blanc, so the land of long white cloud. Silver ferns on the side of these barriers, rubbish bin carriers really, so over there as well. What else would you have on Nouvelle-Zélande street? There's the sign to the New Zealand Monument, which we've just been to see. Right, here we are in Place des Oblaks, which is actually where we stayed last night. There's Rolly down there, and we woke up this morning to a market being set up, which hasn't lasted very long because the rain's settled in, and they were all having to pack up, unfortunately. Over here, there are still some markets going, and we're going to head over to see a few more New Zealand streets and a New Zealand cafe. Alright, we're just coming up to a place called Le Maori 2.0 Bar and Brasserie, which is an interesting name. We'll go and check that out in a minute and have a look at the menu. But over here there is some poppies, and this is the big tower, the clock tower, and there's a celebration coming up called Bimbalot 2023, and you can see on here the happy Māori face, the New Zealand soldier, and a clown who happened to just be in here. So people go inside those costumes and look like they have wheels, and they must go around the celebration. So that's on, when is that? Oh, the 6th of August. So 5th and 6th of August, so a bit of a New Zealand celebration, and they're also opening a new museum in town. And over here there's one other thing I want to show you, is Rue Helen Clark up there. Rue Helen Clark, First Minister de Nouvelle-Zélande. Okay, we're standing in the square in Arras, Arras in France. I've just been to see the Arras tunnels, and all of this was destroyed in the Battle of Arras, and subsequently it was rebuilt exactly the same. It's amazing actually, it doesn't look like it's rebuilt really, does it? Looks like it's still got some age. So the belfry up there was obviously a strategic point that the Germans wanted to bombard and stop them using as a lookout tower. It was rebuilt exactly in the old style. Oops, caught in the rain. Got a 30-minute walk back to the van. The rain came a little bit quicker than we were expecting, but oh well, it happens. Okay, we're in the Passchendaele 1917 museum. They've got a pretty creepy exhibit about gas, and you can actually smell the different gases. So Claire's going to volunteer to. So you're going to. What's that one there? That is chlorine. So it's pretty horrendous by the sounds of it. Claire has not got a very good sense of smell. This one is mustard gas. This is and blue cross, is it? Irritates the upper respiratory tract. Causes vomiting. Watch out. I'm going to stand back. We're going to go down inside what a trench would have looked like. This is obviously a recreation. Must be the offices. Their beds would have been like wire frame, a blanket. It's really high. On the bottom one, could you? These are the toilets. This is obviously the kitchen. Cooking up some sausage. What do you think, Claire?
I'm alright because I'm short. Imagine living down here for like months.
That's the good thing about it, is it gives you a sort of feel for what it, well, I guess it can't really give you anything like what it really was, but it gives you a bit of an insight.
I'm sure it wasn't as clean as this.
No,
it would have been mud everywhere.
The smell, I think the thing you can't capture is the smell you would have had from, this must be an officer's room, isn't it, with lambskin. This is showing the colour coding of all the ones. These grey ones here contain gas. These ochre coloured are high explosive, and the black ones have steel balls that explode. It's more like shrapnel ball. Here we are at the New Zealand Memorial in Polygon Wood. I don't know how well you can see that, but these are the officers and men of the New Zealand Army who fell in Polygon Wood between September the 17th, 1917 and May 1918, whose graves unknown only to God, so never been found.